What's the health status of guys like Jude Wolf, Gary Bryant?
Jude's in the boot, got a little foot issue. We're going to take a look at it and see how it goes. He's been practicing well this camp, so hopefully not long term. Everybody else, we've had a couple nicks and bruises. Nothing serious for anybody else in Gary.
Was Corey out there today?
No, he had a previous requirement. Yeah.
Where do you see Bobby Haskins fitting into that offensive line picture currently at the start of camp?
Yeah, it's been good to to finally get a chance to see him. He's certainly going to be right there in the mix, and I don't think there's any doubt about that. I mean, we feel obviously tackle position, feel really good about Monheim, feel really good about Cortland Ford, feel good about Bobby. Mason Murphy's really started to come on, been excited about his progress, and so I mean I think you'll see all those guys with opportunity to play for us.
With Bobby, how much does that experience kind of offset missing the spring?
It definitely helps. No, there's no question. You can tell after missing all that time that he's played a lot of ball. I mean, you can certainly see that, and so he's still he's getting close to 100% physically, and it hasn't taken him long to settle in. So yeah, it would be a lot more noticeable if it wasn't such an experienced player for sure.
What have you seen about Aiden Sleep-Dalton, how that came together for you?
Yeah, just some of our contacts over there, and kind of knew it was an option when we had to since kind of make a change and go a different direction, and we were fortunate to be able to get him here, not just sign him in terms of kind of the whole recruiting process, but now you're talking about visas, and the story. It's a good story. My man flew had to fly to London and spend a week there just to get a visa because it was backed up in Australia, and just spent a week in London, and he probably doesn't know what continent he's on right now, but we'll get him medically cleared, and excited to let him compete. Will's done a nice job so far too, so it should be a good competition.
Is he just somewhere in Australia just waiting for an opportunity to come his way? Or?
Yeah, no, pretty much. He's got a little bit of a backstory to him. Had quite a bit of interest. He's got a brother that played college football, obviously, in this league, and so. But yeah, had an opportunity that things didn't come together. Unfortunately for all of us, it came together here.
What have you seen from those two, the young tackles, with Bobby coming in and kind of that competition?
Yeah, it's gonna be fun to watch, man. I mean, we were really fired up about the way Jonah played this spring. I mean, I thought he was one of our more consistent linemen, just day in and day out. This kind of guy, you know what you're gonna get. Cortland has a lot of ability, and it really did some really nice things in the spring too. I mean, those guys were very steady. So you're gonna need bodies, though. And luckily for us, those guys, a couple of those guys have the ability to play multiple positions too. So. You never know how that's going to shake out up front. You're always trying to get your best five on the field, and when you have some older, experienced guys, it allows you to rip a few more guys at other spots just to prepare and kind of see what those different combinations might look like. So I like the tackle depth. Again, been impressed with Mason. It's important to kind of have some type of fourth guy there. I'm not saying he's going to be number 4 in the depth chart, but a fourth guy in a rotation. So it'll be good competition. I mean, they've all definitely improved throughout the offseason. You can tell the difference in the strength with those guys, and they're putting on some good quality weight. So and they're off to a good start camp.
How's your confidence level at the second level, the interior of the offensive line?
It's good. I would say Gino has probably been the standout there for us right now. We've really been excited about how he's played. Millick's done a nice job. We'll get Cooper a look in there, certainly. Obviously, he's new and a priority to try to see what he can do. Dewar has done some really nice things. He's been one of the guys I thought had a really good summer and has been pretty steady here early on in camp. So certainly developing some of that depth is key, because you'd like to not have to double rep some of those guys off the edge, out there on the edge inside as well. And some of that will depend on how those guys do, and some of it on how we certainly develop on the interior.
What have you seen out of Eric Gentry early on?
Yeah, like him, notice him. I mean, kind of jumps off the tape. I think he's a great match for what we do defensively, and again, kind of length, physicality. He's still kind of a skinny guy. He's put on some weight. He'll need to put on more as his career goes on, but he plays with some pop, plays with some edge and fire. Like the intensity that he brings.
Is he doing any cross training, or do you have kind of a spot that you like for him at this point?
We've got in the beginning, we've got a spot that we like right now. Part of that, I think, is just him still being relatively young within our system, and so the thought was let's don't overload him in the beginning. Let's make sure he's able to process and go, be competent at one spot. And yeah, I think as time goes on, whether it's a different defensive package or a different spot, he's a guy that certainly gives you, from a physical standpoint, some flexibility.
Let's do one more. Russ, we're at practice today for the first time. How did that impact what you saw?
It's good to have him. Good to have him. The first, we did 2 pretty long team periods tonight. Did a little more team than we've been doing. And first team period, there was a lot of penalties. One took a touchdown off the board. One kept an offensive drive going. We talked about a little bit midway through practice. Second team period was a lot cleaner in terms of penalties. So, yeah, the penalty deal is always a fine line. You go look at the end of the season, and typically the teams that have less penalties aren't even good. And part of it, I think, is there's not enough aggression. I mean, if you're playing this game the way it's meant to be played, you are going to have some. What we've got to teach these guys that they've got to be of the aggressive nature. The administrative penalties, the dead ball penalties after the play, stuff like that is what you have no room for. The occasional aggressive pass interference or a hold or whatever that is, you got to play ball. Those things are going to happen if you're playing as aggressive as you can. So we've been really trying to just educate our guys on obviously what the line is, and we've talked obviously a ton about the physicality and edge we want to play with. That's number one, but we've got to do it within the rules and obviously not shoot ourselves in the foot. So good to get in front of those guys, and it's you can tell them in a meeting room, that's great, but when you get out here and flag's thrown, it's on you, and it moves the group back or moves the other group forward, it feels a little bit different. So we'll utilize those throughout most of this game.
Thank you, Coach Riley.
All right, thanks everybody.